If you think that knowing the color of your aura is cool, oh my god, it's green! Well, you are going to be absolutely stoked to learn about your aura's dynamic, in that, like, your aura has a movement. Unfortunately, most people just stop at color. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the 5 aura types in human design, which will help us to learn about the dynamic of our auras and, of course, how best to use the auras that we have. Before I jump into this, if you don't know what your body graph looks like, you don't know what human design is, visit my website, type in your birth information, you can generate a body graph. It's free. You're looking for your type. That's going to tell you what kind of dynamic your aura has. 9% of the world has a manifestor aura. This is a repelling aura. It's pushing things away from you. The reason it's doing that is because you have one of these energy centers, minus the sacral, connected to the throat, the manifestation center. So there's always this signal that's being outputted by your aura. Your strategy is to initiate and inform others. When you do that well, you experience peace. And if you don't do that well, you are crippled by anger. Quick tips for my manifestor friends. If you feel like you're being controlled or manipulated in any way, it's because you're not doing a good job of informing. People are naturally just going to be like challenged when they're talking to you, or they're going to think that you don't like them. Please do not take that personally. That's just the dynamic of your aura. The next aura we have is the generator aura, and now this applies to generators and manifesting generators. Now, y'all have an enveloping aura, meaning that you see this spiral, this vortex, things are just gravitating towards you, and it's because you have defined sacral centers right there. That's not technically a defined, visually, that's not a good example, but it's because of the defined sacral. All you have to do to use this aura is to learn how to wait and respond. Your sacral center is going to give you the or the and it'll teach you how to find satisfaction and avoid frustration. Some general tips for the generator / manifesting generator community: like, really use those sounds. Like, if someone says, hey, do you want to go do something, instead of saying like, oh yeah, sure, I'd love to, just go or just like stand up and do it. Like, simplify your life and simplify your responses. Another really helpful thing to do, just like as a general practice, is to dance and to sing, specifically moving your hips in spiral patterns and circular motions and singing. By the way, they also just released a study that says that dance, like over exercise and like everything else, dance is the absolute best thing to combat depression and anxiety. And as another generator tip for y'all, like, don't be afraid to just go Like, if someone asks you to do something and you're just like an to it, just say Just be like And if they ask for like an explanation, just be like, it's an for me. Learn to live unapologetically loyal to your aura and your sacral, and satisfaction will be yours in treasure troves. Next, we've got the projector aura. This makes up about 20% of the population. Y'all have a penetrating aura, meaning that you see this like little tendril right here? Yeah, it's gonna go and penetrate everybody else's auras. And so what you wanna do is wait for an invitation. That will allow you to experience success and avoid bitterness. Projectors are here to be guides. They're able to see things and optimize systems unlike any other type. The caveat to this is that they have to wait for an invitation, because no one wants to be guided by somebody that they didn't ask for guidance from. Oftentimes, projectors know exactly what to do, but they don't have an invitation. And instead of waiting for the invitation, they go ahead and initiate. They start dumping all of their advice and counsel onto this person. And this other person is like, why are you telling me this? It's incredibly annoying for everybody involved in those kinds of situations. Knowing how to wait for the invitation is going to mean the difference between working with people who are actually giving you authority to guide them and people who just like to have you around because you're convenient. Now, the last aura type is the aura type that I have. It's a reflector aura, and it's a Teflon aura, meaning it opens and closes. The idea and strategy with this one is that we want to wait a lunar cycle so that we can experience surprise and avoid disappointment. Now, if you're a reflector and you're hearing this for the first time, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to wait 28 days before I respond or make a decision? Like, how does anyone do that? And as somebody who went through that exact mental process of like, that's ridiculous, and now lives a life based off of my lunar cycles, all I can tell you is that your life will not manifest the way it's supposed to unless you give it time to breathe. Specifically, 28 days to breathe. For a reflector, none of these centers have any definition in them, meaning that other people's thoughts, other people's way of thinking, other people's way of getting attention, other people's direction, other people's egos, other people's emotions, other people's sexual creative life force energy, other people's sense of safety and security, and other people's root pressure is all gonna be up in there. So if you want to actually make decisions that are for you and not for whoever's shit you picked up, you gotta give yourself some time. If you're a reflector and an adult, I highly recommend you spend at least one day alone. Like, go on a camping trip alone. Don't go with anybody else. Just one day alone will show you how much peace and like tranquility there is in your system when other people are not filling your aura with their shit. As a reflector, people are going to see the best of themselves in you. They're also going to see the worst of themselves in you. You are the reflection that is going to give them perspective. Now, if those people don't know how to take that perspective and they just project all their negative or their positive stuff onto you, that's a relationship that you should probably start to create some distance from, because it's very distorting to you actually living your life. And those are the 5 aura types of human design. And again, this is teaching us about the dynamic of the aura, or the movement of the aura. Human design has a ton of incredibly practical and accurate information, and all of it is based off of your birth, okay? All of it is based off of the time and place and circumstances of your birth. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to auras, human design, and ultimately how to apply them into your life to make your life absolutely phenomenal. If you want help with any of that, I have reports on my website. I also do one-on-one sessions, so feel free to visit reikimarco.com and get the help that you want.